Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be talking about the Modern Warfare gameplay reveal. It's just ended, I watched the whole thing and I decided to take down some notes and give you all of the relevant information in a little bite-sized package. So, first things first, this game will have crossplay. Console to console, console to PC. I imagine that console players will be able to opt out if they don't want to play against PC players. As you can see from the gameplay footage, the minimap is gone. The compass is at the top of the screen, so you can use that for calling out opponents, and if you'd like to see your squad mates, there will be an outline around them. It just wasn't in this build of the game. There are a ton of unique weapons in the game, classic standard issue that military use, but the guns in the game have been completely built from the ground up, and now projectile bullets have been introduced. No more hit scan. So we've got proper bullet travel time and recoil. And there are different calibers of weapons too that will penetrate different materials, and this apparently comes into its own on the big battle maps which have really long range engagements. There is a game mode in this game called Ground War that can support up to 100 players, with tanks, quad bikes and infantry all fighting together. That sounds awesome and I cannot wait to get my hands on that. We've even seen footage of people being revived in certain game modes. There is no season pass in this game. Infinity Ward wanted to keep the player base together for longer, so throughout the season there's going to be an ongoing free stream of content updates. I'm guessing that there will be some form of monetization here. I assume that it's all going to be cosmetic. I would hope so at least. The creator class system has been reworked and you can pick an operator with a unique look and feel. And the way that you customize your loadouts is different. Pick 10 has gone and the front end is very straightforward now. So you've got your primary, your secondary, your tactical, your lethal and your perks. But this gets a lot more complicated and customizable in the new Gunsmith system. So Gunsmith is this whole new level in the game and this gives you full gun customization. Each weapon has over 30 to 40 attachments on it, and these can be stuff like canted iron sights, alternate scopes, stocks, rear grips. There's a ton of stuff there, and these will affect everything about the way you play. The recoil of your weapon, the accuracy, the sway, your character's movement speed, ADS speed, how many bullets in the magazine, your aiming steadiness. So there's a massive depth to how you set your loadouts up here. I love the UI of this, by the way, and I think it just gives you a really clean presentation of exactly how your gun is going to handle and what kind of traits that loadout is going to give you. It's worth knowing too that unlocking these attachments is done by simply playing with that particular gun. And you can do this and it will work across all game modes, so multiplayer and spec ops, so it's universal progression. And you can edit all of this from in-game too. So if something isn't working for you, well, you just jump into Gunsmith in the game and you can do it there. Now there are perks on the gun too. So stuff like sleight of hand, stance training, you can get more XP from headshots with a certain gun perk, changes to the caliber, crouch or prone recoil improvements, reload speed, reduced idle sway with the stock. But these of course all have trade-offs. All in all, there is a massive amount of gun customization here, and I'm sure that I'll spend ages tweaking and setting things up exactly how I want them to be. So as I mentioned earlier, yes, there are tanks in the game. The light tank is a kill streak, you can call it in, and this is a fully player-controlled vehicle. 2 people can be in it at once, so the driver will be able to drive the tank, obviously, and also use the main cannon, but there's also room for a teammate to go on the gun at the top, the machine gun. We saw footage of quad bikes driving around too. So I imagine in the future, more vehicles will be introduced. Apparently there are lighter and heavier versions of these tanks too. And on the bigger maps, the 20v20 and this potential 100 player game mode that's been mentioned, this could go full Battlefield. And I'm sure that a lot of Battlefield fans watching this right now are really keen to see that happen. This is a Modern Warfare game with a ton of players at once. It could be epic. There are perks for your character too, like double time, EOD, scavenger, that's making a return, tracker. Double time is interesting because it's a tactical sprint that puts your gun up in the air so you can't use it, but it will allow you to move really fast for a short period of time. It's essentially a get out of jail free card. So when you're using this, you can't shoot, but you can go very fast. Juggernaut is coming back, that's the massive armor suit, and I think that was a 15 kill streak. You've got access to a giant minigun, and one of the interesting things the dev said was that when you're in the Juggernaut suit, this metal music plays, but it also plays in 3D space, so people around you can hear it as if it's coming out of a headphone. Could be used as a warning or just to give a bit of ambience. And of course we've got the classics, the gunship, the support helo, and the chopper gunner. There's all sorts in here. Based on the reveal trailer, it also looks like tactical nukes might be returning too. During the live stream, a couple of the developers were very enthusiastic about the amount of time and effort that's gone into door mechanics. So door interaction in multiplayer is a massive feature now. There's a peek open where you can just crack a door open slightly, maybe have a look through, clear off the angles as you go through it, or you could make a gap, throw a grenade or a flashbang and then storm through. You can melee doors open, and explosives will open doors too, so stuff like C4, grenades, etc. And get this, you can sprint through doors as well. So they're not going to stop the flow of the game if you don't want them to. One example the developer gave was that on one of the bigger maps, they had examples where you could stack up a couple of guys next to a double door, throw a concussion grenade in, which will blow the door open and stun anyone on the inside, and then have a sniper like 200 meters back taking anyone inside out. Just a cool little scenario really that is possible now. In terms of the other game modes discussed, Headquarters is coming back where the defending team doesn't respawn, and most of these game modes have this really cool intro where you're riding along in either a transport vehicle on the ground or a helicopter and you drop into the level. And the levels look great too. Photogrammetry has been used for this COD game, and that means that they scan things from the real world. It's proper 3D scanning and stick them in the game. So with a brand new engine, the lighting system, things look good. The night vision in particular looks really good, and during the reveal live streams we saw that some maps are completely in the dark and most people will be using night vision goggles most of the time to be able to see. Just gives a different vibe really that you've not really seen in a multiplayer COD before. It's cool. Field upgrades are here too, and these are chargeable abilities, and this is stuff that you might recognize from older games, but it's stuff like stopping power, slowly charging up over time. So you can have offensive options like a UAV, or defensive options too that reward players who regularly want to help support their team. Tactical cover that can be mounted on, for example, for a significant recall bonus, deploying a bipod. And tactical insertion will also return as a field upgrade. And get this, in regards to that recon drone that I just talked about, you can have your buddy throw C4 on it, and then you can fly it around and put it in a, let's say, advantageous position, and perhaps create a big mess. As for the beta, well, early access will begin in the beta from 12th to 13th of September on PlayStation, and then the open beta launches on PlayStation on the 14th to 16th of September, and then the beta will extend to other platforms. Early access for PC and Xbox One will be on the 19th and 20th of September, and the open beta featuring crossplay will run from the 21st to the 23rd of September on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. And that's about all of the info that I thought would be relevant and interesting to you guys. I thought it was a pretty good reveal. They had some developers on there who were obviously very passionate about this game that they've been building for the last few years, and they provided some great insight into the changes, the pace of the game slowing down, and the direction that they've chosen to take things in. On first impressions, I have to say that I'm very impressed with what we saw here, and hearing about all the details about the gameplay, seeing the game in action, the whole Gunsmith thing I think is brilliant. That level of customization is great. No season pass in a AAA modern Call of Duty game. That's a pretty big deal. Free content, but it's a sign of the times with the live service models. That kind of thing is just so popular nowadays, especially with the rise of a game like Fortnite that's just proved how successful and profitable something like that can be. And the fact that the whole thing just seems to have slowed down and become a bit more hardcore and tactical, getting rid of the minimap. There's now a compass on the screen, proper bullet physics and actual projectiles. There's more recoil on the weapons, there's a bigger player count. It really is, as I've said in the past, just ticking all of the right boxes for me. And as for this 100 player game mode, well, we know that it's got 2v2s in gunfight, it's got the 6v6 multiplayer, which is classic COD, it's got a mode that supports 10v10 and 20v20, but we keep hearing about Ground War, which is being described as an epic large scale mode supporting more than 100 players, and that is just incredible. So when that comes out, if it's 100 players as promised, Call of Duty this year will have a 50v50 large-scale modern warfare shooter with vehicles, with tanks, with javelins, with helicopters, with infantry, with quad bikes, combined arms, all fighting on the same level. And that's really going to appeal to a lot of Battlefield players, I can tell you that for sure. Whatever happens, that sounds really fun, and I personally can't wait to get my hands on this game. It looks great. The proof is in the pudding, of course. We'll see in beta exactly how it plays, but for now, it's looking good. And that's all, folks. Thank you so much for watching the video today. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you didn't like it, dislike it, not a problem. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one.